Hello and welcome to this journey of letting go, finding peace and embracing life through the wisdom of Buddhism, meditation and mindfulness. I'm so grateful you've joined me here today on the Mindful Zone. Whether you're tuning in for the first time or returning for more inspiration, this space is dedicated to helping you cultivate a deeper connection with yourself and the world around you. Today we're diving into something profoundly transformative. Learning how to let go of all that weighs you down, stress, worry, self-doubt, and anything else that keeps you from living fully. Life can feel overwhelming at times, can't it? We carry burdens from past mistakes to future anxieties, and sometimes it feels like there's no escape. But what if I told you that freedom isn't about changing your circumstances overnight? What if it's about shifting your perspective, one mindful step at a time? That's where Buddhism comes in. Rooted in ancient wisdom yet incredibly relevant to our modern lives, Buddhist teachings offer practical tools to help us navigate challenges with grace and clarity. Meditation and mindfulness are two pillars of this practice, inviting us to slow down, breathe deeply, and reconnect with the present moment. These aren't just buzzwords, they're lifelines in a fast-paced, chaotic world. This video is designed to be both warm and accessible, whether you're completely new to these concepts or someone who's been exploring them for years. You don't need any special equipment or prior knowledge, just an open heart and willingness to explore. Over the next 2 hours, we'll walk through 10 chapters, each offering insights, techniques, and reflections to guide you toward greater peace and well-being. Think of this as a gentle conversation between friends, a supportive hand reaching out to remind you that you're not alone on this path. Take a deep breath in and out. Feel yourself settling into this moment. There's no rush here. Just allow yourself to be present as we begin. Let the soothing visuals and calming sounds envelop you, creating a safe space for reflection and growth. If you'd like, grab a notebook and pen to jot down thoughts or insights as they arise. This isn't mandatory. It's simply an invitation to engage more deeply with the material. As we move forward, remember that this isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about taking small, intentional steps toward a lighter, freer version of yourself. You might not notice immediate changes, and that's okay. Transformation often happens quietly beneath the surface, long before we see its effects in our daily lives. Trust the process, trust yourself. Before we dive into the chapters, I want to acknowledge something important. Every single one of us carries unique struggles and stories. Maybe you're here because you're feeling overwhelmed by stress or anxiety. Perhaps you're seeking guidance after a difficult loss or transition. Or maybe you're simply curious about how mindfulness and meditation can enhance your everyday life. Whatever brought you here, know that your presence matters, your journey matters, and I'm honored to walk alongside you, even if only for a short while. So, let's set the tone for what's ahead. In the coming chapters, we'll explore topics like understanding suffering, embracing impermanence, cultivating compassion, and building a daily practice that supports your well-being. Each chapter will include guided exercises, reflective pauses, and practical tips to help you integrate these teachings into your life. Are you ready? Take another deep breath in and out. Feel the weight lifting, even just slightly, as you prepare to embark on this journey of self-discovery. Together we'll uncover the beauty and power of letting go, not as a way to avoid pain, but as a way to embrace life fully, authentically, and joyfully. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Understanding Suffering. The First Noble Truth. Suffering is an undeniable part of the human experience. It's woven into the fabric of life, a thread that connects us all, regardless of who we are or where we come from. In Buddhism, this truth is known as the First Noble Truth. And while it might sound heavy or even bleak at first glance, its purpose isn't to discourage us, it's to awaken us, to help us see clearly so that we can begin to transform our relationship with suffering. The Pali word for suffering is dukkha, which is often translated as unsatisfactoriness or discontent. But dukkha encompasses more than just outright pain or misery. It's the subtle unease we feel when things don't go according to plan. It's the restlessness that arises when we cling too tightly to outcomes, relationships, or ideas about how life should be. Dukkha is the gap between expectation and reality, the tension that arises when we resist what is. Let's pause for a moment and reflect on this idea. Think about your own life. When have you felt truly content? Was it during moments of achievement, when everything aligned perfectly? Or was it in quieter, simpler moments, perhaps sitting by a window watching the rainfall or sharing laughter with someone you love? Often we find contentment not when we're chasing something external, but when we're fully present with what already exists. And yet, despite this innate ability to find peace, we so often drift away from it, caught up in cycles of craving and aversion. Craving, or attachment, is one of the primary drivers of suffering. We crave material possessions, validation, success, love, and even happiness itself. But here's the paradox. The more we chase these things, the further they seem to slip away. Why? Because nothing external can ever provide lasting satisfaction. Everything changes, relationships evolve, success fades, even happiness, as wonderful as it is, eventually gives way to other emotions. This impermanence is a fundamental truth of existence, and resisting it only amplifies our suffering. Aversion, on the other hand, is the flip side of craving. It's the rejection of what we don't want, the pain, the discomfort, the challenges. When life doesn't unfold as we'd hoped, we resist, we complain, we wish things were different. But resistance doesn't change reality. It only adds another layer of suffering onto what already exists. Imagine holding your breath underwater. The longer you resist coming up for air, the more suffocated you become. Similarly, when we resist life's inevitable ups and downs, we create unnecessary struggle for ourselves. Now let's take this understanding a step further. Suffering isn't inherently bad. In fact, it serves a vital purpose. It acts as a teacher, pointing us toward deeper truths about ourselves and the nature of reality. Without suffering, would we ever question our habits, beliefs, or ways of being? Would we seek growth, connection, or meaning? Probably not. Suffering pushes us to look inward, to examine the patterns and stories that shape our lives. It invites us to ask, what am I clinging to? What am I resisting? And most importantly, why? To answer these questions honestly requires courage. It requires us to confront parts of ourselves that we may have long ignored or suppressed, but the reward is worth it. By shining a light on our attachments and aversions, we begin to loosen their grip on us. We start to see them for what they are, not as permanent fixtures, but as temporary constructs of the mind. Consider a common example, the fear of failure. Many of us carry this fear around like a heavy backpack, letting it dictate our choices and limit our potential. We avoid taking risks, speaking up, or pursuing dreams because we're terrified of falling short. But what if we reframed failure not as something to dread, but as an opportunity to learn and grow? What if we saw it as a natural part of the journey rather than a reflection of our worth? By shifting our perspective, we reduce the power that fear holds over us. We begin to let go. Another form of suffering stems from comparison. In today's hyper-connected world, it's easy to fall into the trap of measuring ourselves against others. Social media amplifies this tendency, presenting curated versions of people's lives that leave us feeling inadequate or left behind. But the truth is, comparison is a losing game. No matter how much you achieve or acquire, there will always be someone who seems to have more. The antidote lies in focusing inward on your own path, your own values, your own unique gifts. When you stop comparing yourself to others, you free up immense amounts of energy to invest in what truly matters to you. Grief is another profound source of suffering, one that touches us all at some point in our lives. Losing someone we love can feel unbearable, leaving a void that nothing seems to fill. Yet even in grief, there is wisdom to be found. Grieving reminds us of the depth of our capacity to love. It shows us the preciousness of life and the importance of cherishing every moment we have with those we care about. While the pain of loss never fully disappears, it softens over time, becoming a testament to the bonds we shared. So, how do we work with suffering in a way that leads to liberation rather than further entrapment? One key practice is awareness. Simply noticing when suffering arises, whether it's in the form of frustration, sadness, anger, or anxiety, is a powerful first step. Instead of pushing these feelings away or drowning them out with distractions, we turn toward them with curiosity and compassion. We ask ourselves, what triggered this emotion? What story am I telling myself right now? Is it true? This process of inquiry helps us untangle the web of thoughts and emotions that contributed to our suffering. It allows us to see clearly, without judgment, what's really going on inside us. From this place of clarity, we can begin to make conscious choices about how to respond. Do we continue clinging to old patterns, or do we choose a new way forward? Another essential tool is acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation or giving up. It means acknowledging reality as it is without trying to change it. When we accept that life includes both joy and pain, gain and loss, success and failure, we stop fighting against the tide, we flow with it instead. This doesn't mean we passively endure hardship. It means we meet it with strength and resilience, knowing that it won't last forever. Finally, cultivating gratitude plays a crucial role in transforming our relationship with suffering. Gratitude shifts our focus from what's lacking to what's abundant in our lives. It reminds us of the countless blessings we often take for granted: the air we breathe, the food we eat, the people who support us. Even in the midst of difficulty, there are always elements of our lives that we can appreciate. Gratitude doesn't erase suffering, but it softens its edges, helping us hold space for both light and shadow. To deepen this understanding, let's explore a metaphor often used in Buddhist teachings: life as a river. Imagine yourself standing in a flowing river. The water represents the constant movement and change of life, sometimes gentle, sometimes turbulent. Suffering arises when we try to cling to rocks or branches along the shore, resisting the natural flow. We exhaust ourselves fighting against the current, only to find that the river continues onward regardless of our efforts. But when we learn to let go, to trust the current, we discover that the river carries us toward new horizons. Life may still present challenges, but our experience of them shifts dramatically. Instead of feeling like victims of circumstance, we become participants in the journey, navigating with greater ease and grace. Now take a moment to reflect on your own relationship with suffering. What patterns do you notice? Are there particular areas of your life where you tend to cling tightly to expectations, relationships, or outcomes? Or perhaps you find yourself resisting discomfort, avoiding situations that might bring uncertainty or pain. These tendencies are human, universal even. The key is not to judge yourself for having them, but to recognize them as opportunities for growth. Each time you notice yourself clinging or resisting, you have a chance to pause, breathe, and ask, what am I really holding on to here? And what would happen if I let it go? Letting go isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing practice. It requires patience, persistence, and self-compassion. There will be days when letting go feels effortless, and others when it seems nearly impossible. That's okay. Progress isn't linear. What matters is that you keep showing up, gently reminding yourself of the freedom that comes from releasing what no longer serves you. One way to support this practice is through mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness invites us to observe our thoughts and emotions without getting swept away by them. When we sit quietly and pay attention to our breath, we create a space between stimulus and response, a gap where choice becomes possible. Instead of reacting automatically to every thought or feeling, we can choose how to engage with it. Over time, this practice strengthens our ability to let go of unhelpful mental habits and cultivate a more peaceful state of mind. Another powerful approach is journaling. Writing allows us to externalize our inner world, making it easier to identify patterns and gain perspective. Try setting aside a few minutes each day to write about your experiences with suffering. What triggered it? How did you respond? What insights emerged? Journaling not only helps clarify your thoughts, but also fosters a sense of agency. You begin to see that you have the power to shape your narrative. Finally, remember that suffering is not meant to isolate us. While it's deeply personal, it's also profoundly collective. Everyone you meet is carrying their own burdens, facing their own struggles. Recognizing this shared humanity can inspire compassion, not just for others, but for yourself. When you extend kindness to yourself during difficult times, you create a foundation of resilience that supports you through whatever comes next. In summary, the first noble truth teaches us that suffering is an intrinsic part of life, but it's not the whole story. By understanding its roots in craving and aversion, and by practicing awareness, acceptance, and gratitude, we can transform our relationship with suffering. We learn to navigate its currents with greater wisdom and equanimity, finding peace even amidst life's inevitable challenges. This is the beginning of the path, a path that leads not to the absence of suffering, but to a deeper, richer engagement with life itself. Chapter 2. Embracing Impermanence. Everything changes. Impermanence is one of the most profound and transformative teachings in Buddhism. It's a truth so simple, yet so deeply challenging to fully embrace. Everything changes. This moment, your thoughts, your emotions, your relationships, your body, the seasons, the stars in the sky. Nothing remains static, nothing stays the same. And while this idea might initially feel unsettling or even frightening, it holds within it an extraordinary gift: liberation. To understand impermanence, we must first confront our natural resistance to it. Human beings are wired to seek stability and security. We crave predictability because it makes us feel safe. But life doesn't operate on fixed terms. It's fluid, dynamic, ever-shifting. When we cling too tightly to permanence, to people, possessions, identities, or outcomes, we set ourselves up for disappointment and suffering. Why? Because everything we hold dear will inevitably change, and the more we resist this reality, the more pain we create for ourselves. Think about it. How often do you find yourself wishing that things would stay exactly as they are right now? Perhaps you're enjoying a perfect day with loved ones, and you silently beg time to stop moving forward. Or maybe you've achieved a goal after months or years of hard work, and you want to freeze that sense of accomplishment forever. These desires are completely understandable. They reflect our longing for happiness and fulfillment, but they also highlight our misunderstanding of how life works. Life isn't meant to be frozen, it's meant to flow. The Buddha taught that impermanence is neither good nor bad, it simply is. It's the nature of existence. Just as spring gives way to summer and autumn transitions into winter, every phase of life has its season. Some seasons bring joy, growth, and abundance. Others bring loss, endings, and challenges. Both are equally valid and necessary. Without darkness, we wouldn't appreciate light. Without endings, there would be no beginnings. Impermanence ensures that nothing lasts indefinitely, not even our struggles. This knowledge can be incredibly comforting when we're facing difficult times. If you're going through something painful right now, remind yourself, this too shall pass. But impermanence isn't just about accepting hardship. It's also about savoring the beauty of fleeting moments. Have you ever noticed how certain experiences feel richer and more meaningful precisely because they're temporary? A sunset, for example, captivates us not only because of its colors, but because it won't last. Knowing that it will soon fade encourages us to pay closer attention, to soak in every detail. In the same way, embracing impermanence invites us to live more fully in the present moment. When we recognize that each breath, each heartbeat, each interaction is unique and irreplaceable, we naturally become more mindful and appreciative. Let's delve deeper into what impermanence looks like in practice. Consider your physical body. From the moment you were born, your body has been changing constantly. Cells regenerate, hair grows, skin ages, even your thoughts and emotions are transient. One moment you might feel calm and content, the next anxious or frustrated. These fluctuations are normal, yet we often treat them as if they define us permanently. For instance, if you wake up feeling sad, you might assume the entire day will unfold in sadness. But emotions, like clouds in the sky, drift in and out. They don't have to dictate your experience unless you allow them to. Relationships, too, are subject to impermanence. People come into our lives and sometimes they leave. Friendships evolve, romantic partnerships shift, families grow and change. While these transitions can be painful, especially when they involve loss or separation, they also open doors to new connections and opportunities. Imagine clinging desperately to a friendship that has run its course, refusing to let go even though both parties have grown apart. Doing so prevents you from forming new bonds that could enrich your life. By accepting the impermanent nature of relationships, you make space for healthier, more authentic connections. Material possessions offer another powerful lens through which to view impermanence. Think about the things you own, the clothes you wear, the gadgets you use, the furniture in your home. Over time, these items wear out, break, or lose their relevance. Yet, society often conditions us to believe that acquiring more stuff will bring lasting happiness. Advertisements promise that buying a new car, phone, or outfit will solve our problems and fill the void inside us. But material objects, by their very nature, are impermanent. They degrade, become obsolete, or eventually bore us. True satisfaction comes not from accumulating things, but from cultivating inner peace and contentment. Now, let's turn our attention to identity, a concept that many of us take for granted. We tend to think of ourselves as fixed entities, defined by labels such as successful, creative, intelligent, or kind. But who you are today isn't who you were 5 years ago, or who you'll be 5 years from now. Your interests, values, and perspectives evolve over time. You're not the same person you were as a child, nor are you the same person you'll be in old age. This constant evolution is a testament to the impermanence of self. Recognizing this can be liberating. Instead of being confined by rigid definitions of who you should be, you're free to explore different aspects of your identity and grow into the person you aspire to become. Of course, embracing impermanence doesn't mean adopting a passive attitude toward life. It's not about giving up or resigning yourself to fate. On the contrary, understanding impermanence empowers you to act with greater intention and purpose. When you know that everything is temporary, you're less likely to waste time on trivial pursuits or toxic dynamics. You prioritize what truly matters, relationships, passions, contributions to the world, and let go of distractions that drain your energy. One practical way to work with impermanence is through mindfulness meditation. During meditation, you observe the ebb and flow of your thoughts and sensations without attaching to them. You notice how quickly thoughts arise and dissolve, how bodily sensations shift from moment to moment. This direct experience of impermanence helps loosen your grip on permanence-based thinking. It reminds you that nothing, including discomfort, is permanent. Another helpful practice is reflecting on the cycles of nature. Spend time outdoors paying close attention to the changing seasons, the rising and setting sun, the blooming and wilting of flowers. Nature embodies impermanence in its purest form, offering endless lessons about the beauty of transience. As you witness these cycles, you may begin to see parallels in your own life. Just as leaves fall from trees only to nourish the soil for future growth, endings in your life can pave the way for new beginnings. In addition to observation, storytelling can deepen your understanding of impermanence. Consider sharing stories of change with others. whether it's recounting a personal transformation, discussing historical events, or exploring themes of impermanence in literature and art. Stories help us contextualize our experiences, showing us that change is universal and inevitable. They also inspire hope, reminding us that even the darkest chapters eventually give way to lighter ones. Finally, gratitude plays a crucial role in embracing impermanence. When you acknowledge the fleeting nature of life, you develop a heightened appreciation for the present moment. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant, helping you find joy in the here and now. Whether it's savoring a warm cup of tea, listening to birdsong, or hugging a loved one, these small acts of presence anchor you in the richness of impermanence. Ultimately, impermanence teaches us to hold life lightly, not in a careless or indifferent way, but with a sense of openness and curiosity. By releasing our tight grip on permanence, we create room for wonder, resilience, and grace. We learn to dance with life's rhythms rather than resist them, and in doing so, we discover a profound truth: that impermanence, far from being a source of suffering, is actually the key to freedom. Chapter 3: The Power of Letting Go. Release what no longer serves you. Letting go is one of the most liberating yet challenging practices we can embrace. It's a theme that runs deep in Buddhist teachings, meditation, and mindfulness because it touches on the very essence of human suffering, our attachment to things, people, outcomes, and even ideas about who we are. When we cling tightly to what no longer serves us, whether it's outdated beliefs, toxic habits, or painful memories, we weigh ourselves down, creating unnecessary burdens that keep us stuck. Learning to release these weights isn't just an act of self-care, it's an act of transformation. To truly understand the power of letting go, we must first examine what it means to hold on. Holding on often stems from fear, the fear of loss, the fear of uncertainty, or the fear of being without something familiar. We cling to relationships that have run their course, jobs that drain our energy, or identities that no longer align with who we're becoming. Why? Because letting go requires stepping into the unknown, and the unknown can feel terrifying. Yet, paradoxically, holding on rarely provides the security we seek. Instead, it traps us in cycles of stagnation, keeping us tethered to patterns that limit our growth and happiness. Let's explore some common areas where letting go becomes essential. One of the most pervasive forms of attachment is clinging to the past. Memories, whether joyful or painful, shape our identities and influence how we perceive the present. But when we fixate on the past, replaying old conversations, reliving regrets, or romanticizing the good old days, we rob ourselves of the opportunity to fully engage with the here and now. The past cannot be changed, no matter how much we wish otherwise. By releasing our grip on it, we free up mental and emotional space to create new experiences, forge deeper connections, and build a more fulfilling future. Another area ripe for letting go is expectations. Expectations are insidious. They creep into every corner of our lives, dictating how things should unfold. We expect certain behaviors from others, specific results from our efforts, or particular milestones by certain ages. When reality doesn't match these expectations, disappointment follows. For example, imagine planning a dream vacation only to encounter unexpected rain. If you're rigidly attached to your vision of sunny skies, you'll likely spend the trip frustrated and resentful. But if you let go of those expectations and embrace the rain as part of the experience, you might discover the beauty of stormy beaches or cozy indoor moments. Expectations narrow our perspective. Letting them go opens us to infinite possibilities. Self-judgment is another weight many of us carry unnecessarily. We criticize ourselves for mistakes, dwell on perceived flaws, or compare our progress to others. This inner dialogue creates a heavy burden, sapping our confidence and joy. The truth is, everyone makes mistakes. It's how we learn and grow. By practicing self-compassion and letting go of harsh judgments, we lighten our load significantly. Imagine treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you'd offer a dear friend. How would that shift your relationship with yourself? Physical clutter also symbolizes emotional baggage. Our homes often mirror our internal states. Piles of unused items, clothes we haven't worn in years, or shelves filled with forgotten trinkets reflect attachments to possessions we no longer need. Decluttering isn't just about tidying up, it's about reclaiming space for clarity and intentionality. Each item you release sends a message to your subconscious: I am ready to move forward. Minimalism, viewed through a Buddhist lens, isn't about deprivation. It's about prioritizing what truly matters and letting go of distractions. Relationships too require discernment when it comes to letting go. Not all relationships are meant to last forever, and recognizing this is vital for personal growth. Sometimes friendships fade naturally due to life changes. Other times relationships become toxic, marked by manipulation, disrespect, or imbalance. Staying in such dynamics out of guilt or obligation only perpetuates harm for both parties involved. Ending a relationship, while painful, can also be an act of love. It allows both individuals to heal and find healthier connections elsewhere. Fear of failure is another invisible chain that keeps us from pursuing our dreams. Many of us hesitate to take risks because we're afraid of falling short. But failure isn't the opposite of success, it's a stepping stone toward it. Every misstep teaches valuable lessons, refining our skills and strengthening our resolve. By letting go of the fear of failure, we give ourselves permission to experiment, innovate, and evolve. How do we begin the process of letting go? One powerful method is mindfulness. Mindfulness invites us to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment, helping us identify what we're clinging to and why. For instance, if you notice anger arising during a disagreement, instead of reacting impulsively, pause and ask yourself, what am I holding on to here? Is it pride, control, a need to be right? Simply naming the attachment weakens its hold, making it easier to release. Journaling complements mindfulness beautifully. Writing allows us to externalize our thoughts, giving us distance and perspective. Try dedicating a journal entry to exploring one thing you feel ready to let go of. Describe it in detail. What does it represent for you? How has it impacted your life? What would change if you released it? Journaling transforms abstract feelings into concrete insights, empowering you to take action. Visualization exercises can also support the practice of letting go. Picture whatever you're holding on to, a grudge, a regret, a limiting belief, as a physical object in your hands. Now imagine placing it gently into a river, watching as the current carries it away. Or envision wrapping it in golden light and sending it upward, dissolving into the sky. These visualizations tap into the imagination's power to facilitate emotional release. Gratitude plays a crucial role in letting go as well. While it may seem counterintuitive, expressing gratitude for what you're releasing can ease the transition. For example, if you're ending a job that no longer fulfills you, thank it for the lessons it taught you, the skills it helped you develop, and the people it brought into your life. Gratitude reframes endings not as losses, but as stepping stones towards something greater. Forgiveness ties closely to letting go, particularly when it involves interpersonal conflicts. Unresolved resentment weighs heavily on the heart, poisoning our interactions and draining our vitality. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior. It means releasing the grip that pain has on you. It's a gift you give yourself, freeing you to move forward unencumbered. Finally, surrender deserves mention in any discussion of letting go. Surrender isn't passive resignation, it's active trust. It's acknowledging that we can't control everything and choosing to flow with life rather than fight against it. Surrender asks us to soften our resistance, to say yes to what is, even when it feels uncomfortable. This doesn't mean abandoning effort or responsibility. It means recognizing where our influence ends and allowing the universe or fate or divine will to guide us beyond that point. In conclusion, letting go is a radical act of self-love and empowerment. It challenges us to confront our fears, question our assumptions, and embrace the unknown with courage and grace. By releasing what no longer serves us, we make space for new possibilities, deeper connections, and greater peace. Remember, letting go isn't about erasing past or ignoring reality. It's about honoring it, learning from it, and then setting it free so that we can step fully into the present moment. And in doing so, we discovered that true freedom lies not in possessing, controlling, or clinging, but in trusting the natural flow of life. Chapter 4. Cultivating compassion. Loving kindness, meditation. Compassion is the heartbeat of Buddhism, a force that connects us to ourselves, to others, and to the world around us. At its core, compassion is about recognizing suffering, not just in ourselves, but in all beings, and responding with kindness, understanding, and care. It's not a passive feeling, it's an active practice, a way of being that transforms both the giver and the receiver. One of the most profound ways to cultivate compassion is through loving kindness meditation, or metta in Pali. This practice invites us to open our hearts, dissolve barriers, and radiate goodwill to everyone we encounter, including those who challenge us most. Loving kindness meditation begins with a simple yet powerful premise. We all want to be happy. Regardless of our differences, our backgrounds, beliefs, or behaviors, we share this fundamental desire. When we extend loving kindness to others, we acknowledge their humanity, seeing beyond surface-level judgments and conflicts. In doing so, we create ripples of positivity that extend far beyond ourselves, fostering harmony and connection in a fragmented world. But before we can offer love to others, we must first learn to direct it inward. Self-compassion is the foundation upon which all other forms of compassion rest. Let's start by exploring self-compassion, as it's often the hardest form of kindness to cultivate. Many of us are quick to criticize ourselves for mistakes, dwell on perceived flaws, or compare our progress to others. We hold ourselves to impossibly high standards, believing that self-criticism will somehow motivate us to improve. Yet research shows that harsh self-judgment actually undermines resilience, creativity, and well-being. Instead of pushing us forward, it keeps us trapped in cycles of guilt and shame. Self-compassion, on the other hand, involves treating yourself with the same warmth and understanding you'd offer a close friend. It means acknowledging your pain without amplifying it, recognizing that imperfection is part of the human experience, and committing to your own growth with patience and gentleness. To practice self-compassion during loving-kindness meditation, begin by silently repeating phrases like, "May I be happy, may I be healthy, may I live with ease." These affirmations may feel awkward at first, especially if you're accustomed to negative self-talk. But over time, they plant seeds of kindness within you, helping you rewire your relationship with yourself. Once you've nurtured self-compassion, the next step is extending loving kindness outward. Start with someone easy, a loved one, a mentor, or anyone who inspires feelings of warmth and gratitude. Visualize them clearly in your mind, imagining their face, voice, and presence. Then direct heartfelt wishes toward them. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you live with ease. Notice how it feels to send love without expecting anything in return. Loving kindness isn't transactional, it's unconditional. Its purpose isn't to change the recipient, but to expand your capacity for generosity and empathy. From there, gradually widen the circle of your compassion. Include neutral people, those you neither particularly like nor dislike, such as acquaintances, co-workers, or strangers you encounter daily. Extend the same phrases to them. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you live with ease. This step challenges us to see everyone as deserving of kindness, regardless of whether they've earned it in our eyes. It reminds us that even those who seem distant or indifferent carry their own burdens and struggles. The final frontier of loving kindness meditation is directing compassion toward difficult people, those who irritate, frustrate, or hurt us. This is undoubtedly the hardest part of the practice, but also the most transformative. Picture someone who has caused you pain, whether intentionally or unintentionally. It could be a family member, a colleague, or even a public figure whose actions you disagree with. Now, repeat the same phrases. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. You don't have to condone their behavior or reconcile with them. You simply choose to release the burden of resentment. Holding on to anger only harms you. It doesn't punish the other person. By letting go of animosity, you reclaim your peace. Why does loving-kindness meditation work? Because it rewires our brains, shifting us from default modes of judgment and separation to states of connection and empathy. Studies show that regular practice increases activity in brain regions associated with positive emotions, reduces stress hormones like cortisol, and enhances overall well-being. It also strengthens social bonds, making us more attuned to the needs of others and better equipped to navigate conflict. Beyond its individual benefits, loving-kindness meditation contributes to collective healing. In a world rife with division, hatred, and violence, acts of kindness, no matter how small, create counterforces of love and unity. Imagine millions of people practicing metta simultaneously, sending waves of goodwill across the planet. The cumulative effect would be staggering, reminding us that peace begins within each of us. To deepen your practice, consider incorporating visualization techniques. As you recite the loving-kindness phrases, imagine beams of golden light emanating from your heart, enveloping yourself and others in warmth and healing energy. Alternatively, picture a garden blooming inside you, each flower representing a person you're sending love to. These images make abstract concepts tangible, enhancing your emotional engagement with the practice. Another helpful approach is integrating loving kindness into everyday life. While formal meditation sessions provide structure, compassion shouldn't be confined to specific times or places. Look for opportunities to express kindness throughout your day. Smile at a stranger, listen attentively to a friend, or offer assistance to someone in need. Each act reinforces your commitment to cultivating compassion, weaving it seamlessly into your routine. It's important to note that loving-kindness meditation isn't always easy. Some days you might struggle to feel genuine warmth, especially when directing it toward difficult individuals. That's okay. Authenticity matters more than perfection. If resistance arises, gently acknowledge it without judgment. Remind yourself that compassion is a skill, one that develops over time with consistent effort. Even attempting the practice plants seeds that will eventually blossom. Compassion also requires boundaries. Contrary to popular belief, being compassionate doesn't mean sacrificing your own needs or tolerating harmful behavior. Healthy compassion balances kindness with wisdom. It recognizes when saying no is necessary, when setting limits protects your well-being, and when walking away is the kindest choice for both parties involved. True compassion honors the dignity of all beings, including yourself. Finally, let's reflect on the ripple effects of compassion. Every act of kindness sends vibrations into the universe, influencing countless lives in ways we may never witness. A smile shared with a cashier might brighten their entire day. A kind word spoken to a struggling friend could restore their hope. Even subtle gestures, holding the door open, offering a seat, expressing gratitude, contribute to a culture of care and respect. Compassion is contagious. It inspires others to pay it forward, creating chains of goodness that stretch infinitely. In summary, cultivating compassion through loving-kindness meditation is a journey of expansion. It starts with nurturing self-compassion, then extends outward to loved ones, neutral individuals, and even difficult people. Along the way, it teaches us to soften our judgments, embrace interconnectedness, and respond to suffering with kindness rather than fear. Through consistent practice, we not only transform our own hearts, but also contribute to a more compassionate world. Remember, compassion isn't something you achieve once and for all. It's a lifelong practice, a continual opening to the beauty and complexity of existence. And in embracing this practice, you discover that the greatest gift of compassion is the joy it brings to your own life. Chapter 5. Living Mindfully. Being present in everyday moments. Mindfulness is the art of being fully present, of anchoring yourself in the here and now with intention and awareness. It's about noticing the small details of life, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the sound of birdsong outside your window, the rhythm of your breath as you sit quietly. Yet, despite its simplicity, mindfulness is one of the most transformative practices we can embrace. It shifts our focus from the chaos of thoughts and distractions to the richness of the present moment, helping us live more deeply and meaningfully. In a world that glorifies multitasking, constant productivity, and endless stimulation, mindfulness feels almost rebellious. We're conditioned to believe that doing more equals being more, that filling every second with activity will somehow make us happier or more successful. But the truth is, this relentless busyness often leaves us feeling depleted, disconnected, and overwhelmed. Mindfulness invites us to slow down, breathe deeply, and reconnect with what truly matters. It reminds us that life unfolds in the present, not in the past we've already lived, nor in the future we're anxiously anticipating. To understand mindfulness, let's first clarify what it isn't. Mindfulness isn't about achieving a particular state of mind, such as calmness or happiness. It's not about clearing your thoughts or forcing yourself into positivity. Instead, it's about observing whatever arises, thoughts, emotions, sensations, with curiosity and non-judgmental awareness. When you notice your mind wandering, as it inevitably will, you gently bring your attention back to the present moment without criticism. This process of returning again and again strengthens your ability to stay grounded, no matter what's happening around you. One of the most accessible ways to practice mindfulness is through breath awareness. Your breath is always with you, a reliable anchor to the present moment. By focusing on the sensation of air entering and leaving your nostrils, the rise and fall of your chest, or the subtle pause between inhales and exhales, you create a sense of stability and clarity. Breath awareness doesn't require any special equipment or preparation. You can do it anywhere, anytime. Whether you're stuck in traffic, waiting in line, or lying awake at night, tuning into your breath offers an instant pathway to presence. But mindfulness extends far beyond breathing exercises. It's a lens through which you view all aspects of your life, infusing even the most mundane activities with meaning and purpose. Consider eating, for example. How often do you rush through meals while scrolling on your phone, barely tasting the food? Mindful eating transforms this routine act into a sensory experience. You savor each bite, noticing the textures, flavors, and aromas. You chew slowly, appreciating the nourishment your meal provides. This simple shift not only enhances enjoyment but also supports healthier eating habits by fostering greater awareness of hunger and fullness cues. Similarly, mindfulness can enrich daily tasks like washing dishes, folding laundry, or brushing your teeth. These activities are often dismissed as boring or tedious, yet they offer perfect opportunities to practice presence. As you wash dishes, feel the warmth of the water on your hands, listen to the clinking of plates, and observe the bubbles forming and popping. When folding laundry, pay attention to the softness of fabric, the colors and patterns, and the satisfaction of creating order. Even something as automatic as brushing your teeth becomes an exercise in mindfulness when you focus on the minty freshness of toothpaste, the motion of the brush against your gums, and the rhythmic movement of your arm. Mindfulness also plays a crucial role in managing stress and anxiety. When worries about the future or regrets about the past dominate your thoughts, mindfulness helps you step out of autopilot mode and return to the present. For instance, if you find yourself spiraling into anxious thoughts, try grounding techniques like the Psyche 5-4-3-2-1 method. Identify 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This sensory engagement pulls your attention away from mental chatter and roots you firmly in the moment. Over time, these practices build resilience, enabling you to navigate challenges with greater ease and composure. Relationships benefit immensely from mindfulness as well. When interacting with others, how often are you truly present? Or are you distracted by your phone, preoccupied with planning your next response or replaying past grievances? Mindful communication involves giving someone your full attention, listening deeply without interrupting, and responding thoughtfully rather than reactively. It fosters empathy, trust, and mutual understanding, strengthening bonds and reducing misunderstandings. Imagine how different conversations might feel if both parties approached them with mindful presence. It could transform conflicts into opportunities for growth and connection. Work environments also thrive when infused with mindfulness. In high-pressure settings where deadlines loom and expectations run high, mindfulness acts as a stabilizing force. Instead of rushing through tasks or succumbing to overwhelm, mindful workers approach their responsibilities with focus and patience. They take breaks to recharge, stretch their bodies, or simply breathe, preventing burnout and maintaining productivity. Leaders who model mindfulness inspire teams to adopt similar practices, creating cultures of collaboration, creativity, and well-being. Nature provides another powerful avenue for cultivating mindfulness. Spending time outdoors naturally encourages presence, as the sights, sounds, and smells of the natural world captivate our senses. Walking barefoot on grass, feeling the texture of leaves, or gazing at the stars awakens wonder and gratitude. Forest bathing, a Japanese practice known as Shinrin-yoku, exemplifies this principle. By immersing yourself in nature and engaging all your senses, you reduce stress, boost immunity, and enhance overall vitality. Even brief moments spent connecting with the earth remind you of your place within the larger web of life. Technology, while invaluable, often serves as a barrier to mindfulness. Constant notifications, social media scrolling, and screen addiction fragment our attention and pull us out of the present moment. To counteract this, establish boundaries around technology use. Set aside designated times to check emails or browse social media, and prioritize screen-free zones during meals or family gatherings. Use apps designed to promote mindfulness, such as guided meditation platforms or digital detox tools, to support your journey. Remember, technology itself isn't inherently harmful. It's how we engage with it that determines its impact. Mindfulness isn't limited to individual practices. It can also shape societal systems and structures. Organizations worldwide are adopting mindfulness programs to improve employee well-being. Schools are incorporating mindfulness curricula to enhance student focus and emotional regulation. And healthcare providers are integrating mindfulness-based interventions to address chronic pain, depression, and anxiety. This collective shift reflects a growing recognition of mindfulness's potential to heal not just individuals, but communities and societies as a whole. Of course, practicing mindfulness consistently requires commitment and patience. There will be days when staying present feels effortless, and others when your mind seems determined to wander. That's perfectly normal. The key is persistence, returning to the present moment over and over without judgment or frustration. Each attempt strengthens your mindfulness muscles, making it easier to access presence in challenging situations. Another helpful strategy is weaving mindfulness into existing routines. Pair it with activities you already perform daily, such as showering, commuting, or exercising. During your morning shower, for instance, focus on the sensation of water cascading over your body, the scent of soap, and the steam rising around you. On your commute, instead of reaching for your phone, observe the scenery, listen to ambient sounds, or tune into your breath. By embedding mindfulness into familiar contexts, you make it a seamless part of your lifestyle. Finally, mindfulness invites us to embrace imperfection and uncertainty. Life rarely unfolds according to plan, and clinging to rigid expectations only amplifies suffering. Mindfulness teaches us to flow with life's ebbs and tides, trusting that each moment holds its own lessons and gifts. It encourages us to let go of perfectionism, comparison, and the need for control, replacing them with acceptance, curiosity, and grace. In conclusion, living mindfully transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. It allows us to reclaim our attention, deepen our connections, and savor the beauty of existence. Through consistent practice, we learn to navigate life's complexities with clarity and compassion, finding peace amidst chaos. Mindfulness isn't a destination, it's a lifelong journey, a continual awakening to the miracle of the present moment. And in embracing this journey, we discover that true fulfillment lies not in chasing after tomorrow, but in cherishing today. Chapter 6. Overcoming fear, trusting the flow of life. Fear is one of the most universal human experiences, yet it's also one of the most misunderstood. At its core, fear is a survival mechanism, an instinct designed to protect us from danger. When faced with immediate threats, such as a speeding car or wild animal, fear triggers our fight or flight response, preparing us to act quickly and decisively. But in modern life, where physical dangers are less frequent, fear often becomes distorted. Instead of warning us about real risks, it fixates on imagined scenarios, amplifying uncertainty and resistance to change. Overcoming fear isn't about eliminating it entirely. It's about understanding its roots, learning to navigate it skillfully, and ultimately trusting the flow of life despite its unpredictability. To begin unraveling the nature of fear, let's first examine how it operates. Fear arises when we perceive a threat, whether real or imagined, to our safety, security, or sense of self. This could be anything from financial instability to rejection in relationships, failure in career pursuits, or even existential questions about purpose and mortality. Fear thrives on uncertainty because we humans crave control. We want to know what's coming next so we can prepare for it, mitigate risks, and avoid pain. But life doesn't operate on fixed terms, it's inherently unpredictable. And when we resist this truth, clinging tightly to plans and outcomes, fear takes hold. One common form of fear is the fear of failure. Many of us hesitate to pursue dreams or take risks because we're terrified of falling short. We imagine worst-case scenarios, losing money, damaging reputations, disappointing loved ones, and allow these projections to paralyze us. Yet failure isn't the enemy it's made out to be. Every successful person has experienced setbacks along their journey. Failure teaches resilience, creativity, and adaptability. It strips away illusions of perfection, revealing the raw, messy beauty of growth. By reframing failure as feedback rather than catastrophe, we loosen fear's grip and open ourselves to new possibilities. Another pervasive fear is the fear of rejection. From childhood onward, we seek approval and validation from parents, teachers, peers, and society at large. Rejection feels like a blow to our worthiness, leaving us vulnerable and exposed. As adults, this fear manifests in various ways: avoiding social situations, staying silent during discussions, or tolerating unhealthy dynamics to maintain harmony. But here's the truth. Rejection isn't fatal. It stings, yes, but it doesn't diminish your value. In fact, embracing rejection can be liberating. Each no brings you closer to alignment with people, opportunities, and paths that truly resonate with who you are. The fear of the unknown is perhaps the most insidious of all. Unlike specific fears tied to identifiable threats, the unknown looms vast and shapeless, feeding our imaginations with worst-case scenarios. Whether it's starting a new job, moving to a different city, or ending a long-term relationship, stepping into uncharted territory requires courage. The mind resists uncertainty, preferring familiarity, even if that familiarity involves suffering. Breaking free from this pattern means acknowledging that discomfort is temporary and growth lies just beyond the edge of comfort. So, how do we overcome fear? One powerful approach is mindfulness. Mindfulness invites us to observe fear without identifying with it. Instead of saying, "I am afraid," we say, "Fear is present." This subtle shift creates distance, allowing us to see fear as a passing phenomenon rather than an intrinsic part of ourselves. When fear arises, notice where it shows up in your body: tightness in your chest, knots in your stomach, tension in your shoulders. Breathe into those sensations, softening around them instead of resisting. By staying present with fear instead of running from it, we diminish its power over us. Visualization exercises can also help us work through fear. Close your eyes and picture yourself facing the source of your anxiety, whether it's giving a presentation, having a difficult conversation, or embarking on a new adventure. Imagine handling the situation with calm confidence, visualizing positive outcomes and feelings of accomplishment. Visualization primes your brain to respond differently when the actual moment arrives, reducing anticipatory dread. Another key tool is reframing fear as excitement. Neurologically, fear and excitement share similar physiological responses: increased heart rate, heightened alertness, adrenaline release. The difference lies in how we interpret these sensations. Instead of labeling them as fear, try viewing them as signs of anticipation and readiness. For example, before a big event, tell yourself, "I'm excited to see how this unfolds," rather than "I'm scared something will go wrong." This simple reframe shifts your mindset, transforming nervous energy into fuel for action. Compassion plays a vital role in overcoming fear as well. Often we criticize ourselves for feeling afraid, believing that courage means never experiencing fear. But true courage isn't the absence of fear, it's acting in spite of it. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding when fear arises. Remind yourself that everyone feels afraid sometimes and there's no shame in it. Self-compassion softens the harsh inner critic, creating space for bravery to emerge. Trusting the flow of life is another essential aspect of overcoming fear. Life moves like a river, carrying us through seasons of joy, challenge, growth, and rest. While we can influence its course to some extent, we cannot control everything. Surrendering to this reality doesn't mean giving up or resigning ourselves to fate. It means releasing resistance and flowing with grace. Trust that even in moments of turbulence, you possess the strength and wisdom to navigate whatever comes your way. Stories of resilience offer powerful reminders of trust in action. Consider individuals who have faced unimaginable hardships, loss of loved ones, serious illness, natural disasters, and emerge stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Their journeys weren't easy, but they chose to face adversity head-on, trusting that brighter days would follow darker ones. These examples inspire us to adopt a similar mindset, knowing that challenges are temporary and transformative. Practical strategies for building trust include setting intentions rather than rigid goals. Intentions focus on the quality of experience rather than specific outcomes. For instance, instead of saying, "I must get promoted within 6 months, set an intention to grow professionally, learn new skills, and contribute meaningfully to your team. This flexible approach reduces attachment to results, fostering openness to unexpected opportunities. Journaling complements intention setting by providing a safe space to process fear. Write about what scares you, exploring its origins and impact on your life. Ask yourself, what story am I telling myself about this fear? Is it based on facts or assumptions? What evidence contradicts my fears? Journaling transforms abstract emotions into concrete insights, empowering you to confront and release them. Gratitude also counteracts fear by shifting focus from lack to abundance. When we dwell on what could go wrong, we overlook the blessings already present in our lives. Cultivating gratitude reminds us of our resources, strengths, and support systems, bolstering confidence to face challenges. Start each day by listing 3 things you're grateful for, no matter how small. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to prioritize positivity over negativity. Finally, community plays a crucial role in overcoming fear. Sharing our struggles with trusted friends, mentors, or therapists provides perspective and encouragement. Knowing we're not alone lightens the burden significantly. Additionally, witnessing others overcome their fears inspires us to do the same. Surround yourself with people who uplift and challenge you, creating a supportive environment for growth. In summary, overcoming fear is a multifaceted process that combines awareness, compassion, and trust. By observing fear without judgment, reframing it as excitement, and leaning into uncertainty, we expand our capacity to embrace life fully. Trusting the flow of life doesn't eliminate challenges, but it equips us to meet them with resilience and grace. Remember, fear isn't your enemy, it's a teacher, guiding you toward deeper understanding and courage. And in learning to dance with fear, you discover the freedom to live authentically, boldly, and joyfully. Chapter 7. Finding Joy in Simplicity. Minimalism through a Buddhist lens. Simplicity is one of the most profound, yet underappreciated paths to joy and fulfillment. In a world that glorifies excess, more possessions, more achievements, more distractions, the practice of simplifying our lives offers a counterbalance, inviting us to focus on what truly matters. Rooted deeply in Buddhist philosophy, simplicity isn't about deprivation or asceticism. It's about creating space for peace, clarity, and connection. It's about letting go of the unnecessary so we can fully embrace the essential. At its heart, simplicity aligns with the Buddhist principle of non-attachment. Non-attachment doesn't mean renouncing all worldly pleasures or relationships. It means cultivating a healthy relationship with them. We enjoy material things, experiences, and people without clinging to them as sources of lasting happiness. This shift in perspective allows us to engage with life more lightly, reducing the burden of constantly striving for more. When we simplify, we free ourselves from the relentless pursuit of external validation and instead turn inward, discovering contentment within. Let's explore how simplicity manifests in different areas of life, beginning with physical possessions. Our homes often reflect our inner states. If they're cluttered, chaotic, or overflowing with unused items, chances are our minds feel similarly weighed down. Decluttering isn't just about tidying up, it's about reclaiming mental and emotional space. Each object you own carries an energetic imprint. It demands attention, maintenance, and storage. By releasing what no longer serves you, you create room for calm and intentionality. Minimalism, viewed through a Buddhist lens, emphasizes quality over quantity. Instead of accumulating countless objects, focus on owning fewer, higher quality items that bring genuine value to your life. For example, rather than buying numerous cheap kitchen gadgets, invest in a few durable tools that make cooking enjoyable. Or instead of filling your wardrobe with trendy clothes you'll wear once, choose timeless pieces that reflect your personal style and last for years. The goal isn't perfection, it's mindfulness. Every purchase becomes an opportunity to ask, does this add meaning to my life? Does it support my values and well-being? Simplifying possessions also extends to digital spaces. Our virtual environments, email inboxes, social media feeds, photo libraries, are often just as cluttered as our physical ones. Unsubscribe from newsletters you don't read, delete apps you rarely use, and organize files into clear categories. On social media, curate your feed to include only accounts that inspire, educate, or uplift you. Digital decluttering reduces overwhelm and creates a sense of order, both externally and internally. Beyond material possessions, simplification applies to commitments and activities. Many of us overload our schedules with obligations, leaving little time for rest or reflection. We say yes out of guilt, fear of missing out, or a desire to please others, only to end up exhausted and resentful. Learning to say no is a radical act of self-care. It protects your energy and ensures you have bandwidth for what truly enriches your life. Start by evaluating your current commitments. Which ones align with your priorities? Family, health, creativity, spirituality. Which ones drain you without offering meaningful returns? Letting go of unnecessary tasks frees you to invest in pursuits that nourish your soul. Time management ties closely to simplification. Modern culture equates busyness with productivity, but true efficiency lies in focusing on what matters most. Multitasking fragments attention and diminishes performance, while single-tasking fosters depth and excellence. To simplify your approach to time, adopt practices like batching similar tasks together, for example, responding to emails at set intervals, setting boundaries around work hours and scheduling regular breaks. Prioritize activities that promote balance, exercise, meditation, spending time in nature, and let go of anything that detracts from your overall well-being. Relationships too benefit from simplification. Not all connections are meant to last forever, and recognizing this is vital for personal growth. Toxic relationships, those marked by manipulation, disrespect, or imbalance, drain your vitality and hinder your progress. Ending such dynamics, while painful, can be an act of liberation. Similarly, simplifying social circles to include only those who uplift and support you strengthens bonds and enhances mutual understanding. Quality trumps quantity when it comes to relationships. A handful of deep, authentic connections outweighs a sprawling network of superficial acquaintances. Simplification also invites us to examine our habits and routines. Habits shape our daily lives, often operating below the level of conscious awareness. Some habits serve us well. They promote health, productivity, and happiness, while others undermine our goals and values. For instance, scrolling endlessly on social media might provide temporary entertainment, but it saps time and focus better spent elsewhere. Simplifying habits involves identifying which ones contribute positively and eliminating or modifying those that don't. Replace mindless scrolling with mindful breathing. Swap fast food for home-cooked meals. Trade late-night screen time for reading or journaling. Small changes compound over time, leading to significant improvements in well-being. The concept of simplicity extends to our thoughts and emotions as well. Mental clutter, ruminating on past mistakes, worrying about future uncertainties, comparing ourselves to others, creates unnecessary suffering. Mindfulness helps us simplify our inner landscape by anchoring us in the present moment. When thoughts arise, observe them without judgment. Ask yourself, is this thought helpful? Is it based on reality? Can I release it and return to now? Over time, this practice reduces cognitive noise, fostering greater clarity and peace. Emotional simplicity involves embracing vulnerability and authenticity. Instead of masking difficult feelings with distractions or numbing behaviors, we allow ourselves to experience them fully. Pain, sadness, anger, all are natural parts of the human experience. By sitting with these emotions instead of avoiding them, we process and release them, making space for joy and love. Emotional simplicity also means expressing gratitude regularly. Gratitude shifts focus from lack to abundance, reminding us of the countless blessings already present in our lives. Nature provides a powerful model for simplicity. Trees shed leaves in autumn, rivers carve their paths with minimal resistance, and animals live instinctively, taking only what they need. Observing these patterns teaches us to flow with life rather than fight against it. Spending time outdoors reinforces this lesson, grounding us in the rhythms of the earth and inspiring a simpler, more harmonious way of being. Cultivating simplicity requires ongoing effort and discernment. It's not a one-time event, but a lifelong practice. As circumstances change, so too will your needs and priorities. Regularly reassess your possessions, commitments, and habits to ensure they align with your evolving values. Be patient with yourself. Simplifying isn't always easy, especially in a culture that celebrates accumulation. Celebrate small victories along the way, knowing that each step brings you closer to greater freedom and fulfillment. Finally, consider the ripple effects of simplicity. When we simplify our own lives, we inspire others to do the same. Sharing resources, reducing waste, and prioritizing meaningful interactions contribute to a culture of care and sustainability. Simplicity isn't selfish, it's communal. By living simply, we honor the interconnectedness of all beings and participate in the collective healing of our planet. In conclusion, finding joy in simplicity is a transformative journey that touches every aspect of life. From decluttering possessions to streamlining commitments, simplifying relationships to embracing mindfulness, each step lightens our load and deepens our connection to what truly matters. Simplicity reminds us that less is often more, that the richness of life lies not in accumulating external trappings, but in cultivating inner peace and presence. And in choosing simplicity, we discover a profound truth, that happiness isn't something we chase, it's something we create, moment by moment, through intentional living. Chapter 8. Forgiveness releasing the past. Forgiveness is one of the most liberating, yet challenging practices we can embrace. It's a cornerstone of personal growth, emotional healing, and spiritual transformation. Yet, forgiveness isn't always easy. It requires courage, humility, and a willingness to confront pain that might otherwise remain buried. At its essence, forgiveness is about releasing the grip that past hurts have on us. It's not about excusing harmful behavior or forgetting what happened. It's about freeing ourselves from the weight of resentment so we can move forward with peace and clarity. To understand forgiveness, we must first acknowledge the toll that holding on to anger, bitterness, or grudges takes on our lives. When someone wrongs us, whether through betrayal, neglect, or outright cruelty, we naturally feel hurt. This pain is valid and it deserves to be acknowledged. But when we cling to these emotions over time, they harden into resentment, creating an invisible prison that keeps us trapped in the past. Resentment doesn't punish the person who hurt us, it punishes us. It drains our energy, clouds our judgment, and prevents us from experiencing joy in the present moment. The act of forgiveness begins with recognizing that holding on to resentment serves no purpose other than to perpetuate suffering. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with rocks. Each rock represents a grievance you've been unwilling to release. Over time, the weight becomes unbearable, yet you continue to lug it around because letting go feels impossible or unfair. Forgiveness is the decision to set down the backpack one rock at a time until you're finally free. It's important to note that forgiveness doesn't mean condoning harmful actions or reconciling with those who caused harm. Instead, it's a gift you give yourself, a way to reclaim your power and peace. Forgiveness operates on multiple levels: forgiving others, asking for forgiveness, and perhaps most importantly, forgiving yourself. Let's explore each of these dimensions in depth. When it comes to forgiving others, the process often starts with empathy. Empathy asks us to step outside our own perspective and consider the experiences, motivations, and struggles of the person who hurt us. This doesn't justify their actions, but it helps soften our hearts, making forgiveness more accessible. For example, if a friend betrayed your trust, try to imagine what circumstances might have led them to behave that way. Were they acting out of fear, insecurity, or ignorance? Understanding their humanity doesn't excuse the betrayal, but it creates space for compassion, an essential ingredient in forgiveness. Another helpful approach is reframing the narrative. Instead of viewing the offense as a deliberate attack against you, see it as a reflection of the offender's own pain or limitations. People rarely harm others out of malice alone. Often they're projecting their own unresolved issues onto those around them. By shifting your focus from "they did this to me" to "they were struggling and lashed out," you reduce the intensity of your emotional response. This perspective shift empowers you to release the story of victimhood and step into a role of empowerment. Asking for forgiveness is equally transformative, though it can feel daunting. Admitting wrongdoing requires vulnerability, which many of us instinctively avoid. Yet, apologizing sincerely is one of the most courageous acts we can perform. When you take responsibility for your actions and express genuine remorse, you open the door to healing, not just for the other person, but for yourself as well. A heartfelt apology acknowledges the impact of your behavior without making excuses. It says, "I see how I hurt you and I'm truly sorry." This act of accountability strengthens relationships and fosters mutual respect. Self-forgiveness, however, is often the hardest form of forgiveness to practice. We tend to be our own harshest critics, replaying past mistakes and berating ourselves for perceived failures. Self-forgiveness challenges this pattern by inviting us to treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we'd offer a loved one. To forgive yourself, start by acknowledging the mistake without amplifying it. Recognize that everyone stumbles, it's part of being human. Then reflect on what you've learned from the experience and commit to doing better moving forward. Self-forgiveness isn't about erasing the past, it's about integrating it into your journey, using it as fuel for growth rather than a source of shame. One powerful tool for cultivating forgiveness is visualization. Close your eyes and picture the person you need to forgive, or perhaps yourself, standing before you. Imagine wrapping the pain, anger, or guilt in golden light, symbolizing your intention to release it. As you breathe out, visualize the light dissolving into the air, carrying the burden away. Alternatively, imagine placing the hurt into a balloon and watching it float upward, growing smaller and smaller until it disappears entirely. These visualizations tap into the imagination's ability to facilitate emotional release, making forgiveness feel tangible and achievable. Meditation also supports the practice of forgiveness. Loving-kindness meditation, or metta, extends compassion not only to others but also to ourselves. Begin by silently repeating phrases like, "May I be happy," "May I be healthy," "May I live with ease." Once you've nurtured self-compassion, direct the same wishes toward the person who hurt you. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you live with ease. You don't have to feel warmth or affection for them immediately. Simply planting seeds of goodwill weakens the hold of resentment over time. Journaling complements forgiveness work by providing a safe space to process emotions. Write about the situation that caused pain, exploring how it affected you and why forgiveness feels difficult. Ask yourself, what am I holding on to? How is it impacting my life? What would change if I let it go? Journaling transforms abstract feelings into concrete insights, empowering you to confront and release them. Gratitude plays a crucial role in forgiveness as well. While it may seem counterintuitive, expressing gratitude for painful experiences can reframe them as opportunities for growth. For instance, if a breakup left you devastated, thank it for teaching you resilience, self-awareness, or clarity about what you truly value in a partner. Gratitude doesn't negate the pain, it reframes it, helping you see the silver linings that emerge from even the darkest clouds. Forgiveness also requires patience and persistence. It's rarely a one-time event. More often, it's a gradual process that unfolds over days, weeks, or even years. Some wounds run deep, and expecting instant resolution can lead to frustration or self-judgment. Instead, approach forgiveness as a practice, a continual softening of the heart, moment by moment. Each time you notice resentment arising, gently remind yourself of your commitment to release it. Over time, this consistent effort weakens the grip of anger and makes room for peace. Boundaries are another essential aspect of forgiveness. Forgiving someone doesn't mean tolerating harmful behavior or allowing yourself to be mistreated again. Healthy forgiveness balances compassion with wisdom, recognizing when distance or protective measures are necessary. For example, if a family member has repeatedly betrayed your trust, forgiving them might involve letting go of bitterness while still maintaining firm boundaries to safeguard your well-being. True forgiveness honors both the dignity of the offender and the sanctity of your own spirit. Stories of forgiveness abound throughout history and personal narratives, offering inspiration and guidance. Consider Nelson Mandela, who chose to forgive his oppressors after spending 27 years in prison under apartheid. His decision wasn't based on weakness, but on strength, a profound understanding that holding on to hatred would only perpetuate cycles of violence. Similarly, individuals who have forgiven partners for infidelity, friends for betrayal, or strangers for cruelty demonstrate remarkable resilience and grace. These examples remind us that forgiveness is not only possible but transformative, capable of healing even the deepest wounds. The ripple effects of forgiveness extend far beyond the individual. When we forgive, we contribute to a culture of compassion and reconciliation. Our actions inspire others to do the same, creating waves of goodwill that stretch infinitely. Forgiveness fosters empathy, reduces conflict, and strengthens communities. It reminds us of our shared humanity, bridging divides and promoting unity in a fractured world. Finally, forgiveness ties closely to impermanence, the Buddhist teaching that nothing lasts forever. Just as joy fades and seasons change, so too does pain. Holding on to resentment assumes that suffering must endure indefinitely, but this belief contradicts the nature of existence. By embracing impermanence, we recognize that pain, like all things, will pass. Forgiveness accelerates this process, helping us release the past and step fully into the present moment. In summary, forgiveness is a radical act of self-love and liberation. It challenges us to confront our pain, question our attachments, and embrace vulnerability with courage and grace. Through empathy, visualization, meditation, journaling, and gratitude, we learn to release the burdens of resentment and reclaim our peace. Forgiveness isn't easy. It demands effort, patience, and compassion, but its rewards are immeasurable. In forgiving others, ourselves, and the circumstances of life, we discover a profound truth: that freedom lies not in holding on, but in letting go. And in doing so, we open ourselves to a life filled with greater joy, connection, and meaning. Chapter 9: Gratitude Shifting Your Perspective. Gratitude is one of the simplest yet most transformative practices we can embrace. It's a lens through which we view life, shifting our focus from what's lacking to what's abundant. In a world that often emphasizes scarcity, whether it's time, money, love, or success, gratitude reminds us of the countless blessings already present in our lives. This shift in perspective doesn't just make us feel better, it rewires our brains, strengthens relationships, and enhances overall well-being. Gratitude isn't about ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about finding light even in the darkest moments and cultivating a mindset of appreciation for the beauty of existence. To truly understand gratitude, let's first explore why it holds such power. Human beings are wired to notice threats and problems. It's an evolutionary survival mechanism. Thousands of years ago, this negativity bias helped our ancestors avoid danger and stay alive. But in modern life, where physical threats are less frequent, this tendency can distort our perception of reality. We fixate on what's going wrong, overlooking the many things that are going right. Gratitude counters this imbalance by training us to seek out and acknowledge the good. It doesn't erase difficulties, but it provides a buffer against despair, helping us navigate life with greater resilience and optimism. One of the most profound aspects of gratitude is its ability to transform ordinary moments into extraordinary ones. Think about it. How often do you rush through daily routines without noticing the richness? Brushing your teeth, sipping coffee, walking to work? These activities might seem mundane, but they're actually miracles when viewed through the lens of gratitude. The fact that you have access to clean water, safe shelter, and transportation is something countless people around the world lack. By pausing to appreciate these small luxuries, you infuse your day with meaning and joy. Gratitude also deepens our connections with others. When we express thanks, whether verbally, through notes, or simply by acknowledging someone's efforts, we strengthen bonds and foster mutual understanding. Imagine receiving heartfelt gratitude from a friend or colleague. How does it make you feel? Likely valued, seen, and appreciated. Gratitude has a reciprocal quality. It not only uplifts the recipient, but also enriches the giver. Studies show that people who regularly practice gratitude experience increased happiness, reduced stress, and improved physical health. They sleep better, cope more effectively with adversity, and report higher levels of life satisfaction. So, how do we cultivate gratitude in a way that feels authentic rather than forced? One powerful method is keeping a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 to 5 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be monumental achievements. They could be as simple as a kind word from a stranger, the smell of fresh air after rain, or the warmth of sunlight streaming through your window. Over time, this practice trains your brain to scan for positivity, making gratitude a natural part of your thought process. If journaling feels daunting, try incorporating gratitude into conversation. At dinner, ask family members or friends to share one thing they're thankful for that day. These shared reflections create a culture of appreciation within your home or community. Visualization exercises can amplify the effects of gratitude. close your eyes and vividly imagine the things you're grateful for. Picture them in detail, the colors, textures, sounds, and emotions associated with each item. For example, if you're grateful for a supportive partner, visualize their smile, hear their laughter, and feel the comfort of their presence. This sensory engagement deepens your emotional connection to gratitude, making it more impactful. You can also use visualization to express gratitude toward yourself. Imagine wrapping your body in golden light, thanking it for carrying you through life's challenges and joys. This self-directed gratitude fosters self-compassion and reinforces your worthiness of love and care. Mindfulness complements gratitude beautifully by anchoring us in the present moment. So often, we miss opportunities for gratitude because we're distracted, scrolling on our phones, ruminating on past regrets, or worrying about future uncertainties. Mindfulness invites us to slow down and notice the here and now, creating space for appreciation to arise naturally. For instance, during a meal, focus on the flavors, aromas, and textures of your food. Express silent thanks for the farmers, chefs, and hands that brought it to your plate. Similarly, while taking a walk, pay attention to the rustling leaves, chirping birds, and cool breeze against your skin. These moments of mindful awareness become portals to gratitude, reminding us of life's intricate beauty. Another dimension of gratitude involves reframing challenges as opportunities for growth. While it might seem counterintuitive to feel thankful for hardships, doing so can shift our perspective dramatically. Difficult experiences teach us patience, resilience, and empathy. They reveal our inner strength and highlight areas for improvement. For example, losing a job might initially feel devastating, but it could lead to discovering a new passion or career path. A breakup might leave you heartbroken, but it also opens the door to self-discovery and healing. By asking ourselves, what can I learn from this? How has this experience shaped me positively? We uncover hidden gifts within struggles. Gratitude extends beyond personal benefits. It contributes to collective well-being. When we express thanks to service workers, teachers, healthcare professionals, and others who contribute to society, we acknowledge their efforts and inspire them to continue making a difference. Acts of gratitude ripple outward, fostering kindness and generosity in communities. Consider starting a gratitude chain by leaving uplifting notes for strangers, tipping generously, or volunteering your time. These gestures remind us of our interconnectedness and encourage a culture of mutual support. Self-gratitude deserves special attention as it's often overlooked. Many of us are quick to criticize ourselves for mistakes, dwell on perceived flaws, or compare our progress to others. Yet practicing gratitude toward ourselves is essential for emotional health. Take a moment to reflect on your strengths, accomplishments, and acts of kindness. Thank yourself for showing up even on tough days. Celebrate small victories, completing a task, sticking to a routine, or simply getting out of bed. Self-gratitude builds confidence, reduces self-judgment, and aligns you with a sense of inherent worthiness. Technology offers creative ways to integrate gratitude into daily life. Apps designed for mindfulness and gratitude provide prompts, reminders, and spaces to record reflections. Social media platforms can also serve as tools for spreading positivity if used intentionally. Instead of scrolling aimlessly, post messages of gratitude, tag people who've inspired or supported you, or share stories of kindness you've witnessed. These digital expressions amplify gratitude's reach, inspiring others to adopt similar practices. Gratitude rituals deepen the practice further, embedding it into our routines and traditions. For example, begin each morning by listing 3 things you're grateful for before getting out of bed. End your day with a gratitude meditation, focusing on the blessings of the past 24 hours. During holidays or celebrations, incorporate gratitude ceremonies, such as sharing what you're thankful for around the dinner table, or writing letters to loved ones expressing appreciation. Rituals give gratitude, structure, and significance, ensuring it remains a consistent part of your life. Stories of gratitude abound throughout history and personal narratives, offering inspiration and guidance. Consider Anne Frank, who wrote in her diary during one of humanity's darkest periods, Despite everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart. Her words remind us that gratitude can coexist with suffering, providing solace and hope. Similarly, individuals who have faced illness, loss, or trauma often report that gratitude helped them endure and ultimately thrive. These examples demonstrate that gratitude isn't contingent on external circumstances, it's a choice we make, regardless of conditions. Finally, gratitude ties closely to impermanence, another core Buddhist teaching. Recognizing that nothing lasts forever, including pain, joy, relationships, and material possessions, heightens our appreciation for the present moment. When we realize that every experience is fleeting, we cherish it more deeply. Gratitude becomes a way of honoring impermanence, embracing life's transience with open arms. In conclusion, gratitude is a practice that transforms not only our minds but also our hearts and communities. By shifting our perspective from scarcity to abundance, we unlock a reservoir of joy, connection, and resilience. Through journaling, visualization, mindfulness, and intentional rituals, we weave gratitude into the fabric of our lives, making it a natural and enduring habit. Gratitude reminds us that happiness isn't something we chase. It's something we create moment by moment by choosing to see the good in all things. And in embracing this practice, we discover a profound truth. That gratitude is not just a response to life's gifts, it's a gift itself, capable of illuminating even the darkest corners of our existence. Chapter 10: Creating a Daily Practice Building Habits That Last. Creating a daily practice is one of the most powerful ways to integrate mindfulness, meditation, and Buddhist principles into your life. A consistent routine anchors you in presence, cultivates inner peace, and strengthens your ability to navigate challenges with clarity and compassion. Yet, building habits that truly last requires more than good intentions. It demands intentionality, patience, and a willingness to adapt as you grow. In this chapter, we'll explore how to design a sustainable daily practice tailored to your unique needs and circumstances, ensuring it becomes a source of nourishment rather than another item on your to-do list. To begin, let's address a common misconception: that a meaningful practice must be time-consuming or elaborate. Many people hesitate to start because they believe they need hours each day to meditate, journal, or engage in rituals. The truth is, even small, consistent actions can yield profound results. What matters most isn't the quantity of time you dedicate, but the quality of your attention and commitment. 5 minutes of mindful breathing, 10 minutes of gratitude journaling, or 15 minutes of walking meditation can transform your mindset and energy over time. The key is consistency, not perfection. The foundation of any successful daily practice lies in setting clear intentions. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? What do I hope to gain? Your answers will guide your choices and keep you motivated during moments of resistance. For example, if your goal is some stress reduction, prioritize activities like breath awareness or body scans that promote relaxation. If you're seeking greater self-awareness, focus on reflective practices such as journaling or contemplative meditation. Aligning your practice with your values ensures it feels meaningful and relevant, increasing the likelihood of sticking with it long term. Once you've clarified your intentions, the next step is designing a realistic routine. Start by assessing your current schedule and identifying pockets of time where you can incorporate new habits. Mornings are often ideal for establishing a grounding practice, as they set the tone for the rest of the day. Consider waking up 10 minutes earlier to sit quietly, stretch, or write down 3 things you're grateful for. Alternatively, evenings provide an opportunity to decompress and reflect. Try winding down with a short meditation or reading inspiring texts before bed. If mornings and evenings feel too hectic, experiment with integrating mindfulness into existing routines. For instance, use your commute to practice deep breathing, bring awareness to household chores, or savor meals mindfully. Consistency thrives on structure, so establish specific triggers and cues to remind you to engage in your practice. These could be physical prompts, such as placing your meditation cushion in a visible spot, or temporal ones, like linking your habit to an existing activity, for example, meditating immediately after brushing your teeth. Over time, these associations create neural pathways that make your practice automatic, reducing reliance on willpower alone. Additionally, minimize barriers by preparing materials in advance, a pre-filled journal, downloaded guided meditations, or a designated quiet space all contribute to ease and accessibility. Accountability plays a crucial role in sustaining habits. While personal discipline is important, external support amplifies motivation and reinforces commitment. Share your goals with a trusted friend, family member, or accountability partner who can check in regularly and celebrate your progress. Join online communities or local groups dedicated to mindfulness and meditation, where you can exchange insights, ask questions, and draw inspiration from others' journeys. Teaching what you've learned, whether through casual conversations or formal workshops, is another powerful way to deepen your own understanding while contributing to collective growth. Tracking your progress provides tangible evidence of your efforts and keeps you engaged. Use a simple calendar, bullet journal, or app to mark each day you complete your practice. Seeing streaks of consecutive days builds momentum and fosters pride in your achievements. However, avoid becoming overly rigid or punitive if you miss a day. Life happens, and flexibility is essential for maintaining balance. Instead of viewing lapses as failures, treat them as opportunities to refine your approach. Ask yourself, what got in the way? How can I adjust my plan to better suit my reality? Self-compassion rather than criticism fuels resilience and encourages continued effort. Variety prevents monotony and keeps your practice fresh. While consistency is vital, repeating the same activity every day without variation can lead to boredom or disengagement. Mix and match techniques based on your mood, energy levels, and evolving interests. On days when you feel restless, try movement-based practices like yoga, tai chi, or mindful walking. When emotions run high, turn to loving-kindness meditation or expressive journaling to process feelings. Experimentation allows you to discover what resonates most deeply with you, fostering a sense of ownership and authenticity. Mindfulness doesn't have to be confined to formal practices. It can permeate every aspect of your life. Infuse ordinary activities with presence by engaging fully with whatever you're doing, whether it's washing dishes, folding laundry, or brushing your teeth. Pay attention to the sensations, movements, and sounds involved. Notice the texture of fabric, the scent of soap, or the rhythm of your hand scrubbing a plate. These moments of embodied awareness cultivate mindfulness seamlessly, blurring the line between practice and life. Technology offers innovative tools to enhance and sustain your daily practice. Meditation apps like Headspace, Calm, or Insight Timer provide guided sessions, timers, and reminders to keep you on track. Podcasts, audiobooks, and YouTube channels deliver teachings and inspiration directly to your device, making wisdom accessible anytime, anywhere. Wearable devices like smartwatches or fitness trackers monitor physiological metrics, heart rate variability, sleep patterns, stress levels, offering personalized feedback to optimize your well-being. Embrace technology as a supportive ally, balancing its use with periods of unplugged connection to nature and yourself. Gratitude amplifies the impact of your daily practice by reinforcing positive habits. Take a moment at the end of each session to acknowledge your effort and express thanks for showing up, for creating space for growth, and for honoring your commitment to yourself. Reflect on how the practice has influenced your day, noticing subtle shifts in mood, perspective, or behavior. This reflection strengthens your resolve and deepens your appreciation for the journey itself beyond specific outcomes. Boundaries. Safeguard your practice from external pressures and distractions. Communicate your needs clearly to those around you, setting aside dedicated time and space for your routine. If interruptions occur, gently redirect attention back to your task without frustration. Similarly, protect your mental environment by curating inputs wisely. Limit exposure to negativity, prioritize uplifting content, and surround yourself with supportive influences. Boundaries aren't limitations, they're acts of self-respect that honor the sacredness of your practice. As you build your daily practice, remember that flexibility and adaptability are essential. Life evolves, and so should your habits. Periodically reassess your routine to ensure it aligns with your current priorities and circumstances. Perhaps a once daily meditation no longer suffices, prompting you to add brief midday check-ins. Or maybe parenting responsibilities necessitate shorter, adaptable exercises instead of extended sessions. Trust your intuition and listen to your body. Your practice should serve you, not constrain you. Stories of transformation abound among practitioners who've committed to daily routines. Consider individuals who started with just 5 minutes of meditation and gradually expanded their practice, discovering profound changes in focus, emotional regulation, and overall happiness. Others recount how journaling helped them process grief, uncover hidden strengths, or clarify their purpose. Teachers share tales of students overcoming anxiety, depression, or burnout through disciplined engagement with mindfulness techniques. These narratives underscore the universal potential of consistent practice to catalyze healing, growth, and awakening. Finally, recognize that a daily practice isn't about achieving some ideal state, it's about embracing the process of becoming. Progress may feel slow or imperceptible at times, but trust that each small step contributes to lasting change. Celebrate milestones along the way, whether completing 30 consecutive days of meditation, mastering a challenging yoga pose, or simply feeling calmer and more centered in daily interactions. Above all, remain gentle with yourself, knowing that the act of showing up, even imperfectly, is an expression of love and courage. In summary, creating a daily practice is a transformative endeavor that enriches every facet of life. By setting clear intentions, designing a realistic routine, leveraging accountability, tracking progress, embracing variety, and infusing mindfulness into everyday moments, you lay the groundwork for sustainable habits that endure. Technology, gratitude, and boundaries further enhance the experience, ensuring your practice remains dynamic and fulfilling. Remember, the journey itself is the destination. Each breath, each moment of presence, each gesture of kindness adds to the tapestry of your awakening, and in committing to this path you discover a profound truth. The true freedom lies not in escaping life's challenges, but in meeting them with grace, curiosity, and unwavering presence. And so, we come to the end of this journey together, a journey of letting go, embracing impermanence, cultivating compassion, and building practices that support your well-being. As we part ways for now, I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude for your presence here today. Your decision to invest 2 hours of your life in exploring these teachings is no small thing. It's a testament to your courage, curiosity, and desire to live more fully, authentically, and joyfully. If there's one takeaway I hope you carry forward from our time together, it's this. You already have everything you need within you. The tools, the wisdom, the strength, they're all there, waiting to be uncovered. Mindfulness, meditation, and Buddhist principles aren't about acquiring something new. They're about remembering what's always been true. They're about reconnecting with your innate capacity for peace, clarity, and love. Every breath you take, every step you make toward greater awareness brings you closer to the essence of who you truly are. Remember, transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's not a straight line or a destination, it's a process, a continual unfolding. Some days will feel lighter than others. There will be moments of breakthrough and moments of struggle. That's okay. Growth isn't measured by how quickly you reach the finish line. It's measured by the small, consistent steps you take along the way. Celebrate those steps, no matter how tiny they may seem. Each one matters. As you move forward, I encourage you to approach life with gentleness, not just toward others, but also toward yourself. Be kind when things don't go as planned. Forgive yourself for missteps and setbacks. Trust that even on the hardest days, you're doing the best you can with the resources you have, and know that every effort you make to let go of what weighs you down, to embrace simplicity, to forgive, to practice gratitude, and to show up mindfully, ripples outward, touching lives far beyond your own. Let me leave you with a story, one that encapsulates the heart of everything we've explored today. Imagine standing on the edge of a vast lake at dawn. The water is still, reflecting the soft hues of the rising sun. In your hand, you hold a single pebble. As you toss it into the lake, ripples spread outward, growing wider and wider until they touch the farthest shores. Now imagine that each act of mindfulness, each moment of compassion, each gesture of gratitude is like that pebble. Its impact extends far beyond what you can see, influencing the world in ways you may never fully understand. This is the power of your practice, not just to transform your own life, but to contribute to a culture of care, connection, and healing. Before we close, I invite you to take a deep breath in and out. Feel the weight lifting, even if just slightly, as you prepare to step back into your day, or perhaps into restful sleep with renewed clarity and purpose. Carry this sense of presence with you, knowing that you can return to it anytime, anywhere. Whether through mindful breathing, journaling, meditation, or simply pausing to notice the beauty around you, you always have access to this inner sanctuary. Thank you again for joining me on the Mindful Zone. If this video resonated with you, please consider subscribing for more content designed to nurture your mind, body, and spirit. Share it with someone who might benefit from these teachings, because when we share wisdom, we amplify its reach. Together, we create a ripple effect of positivity and change. Until next time, may you walk gently through life, embracing each moment with an open heart. May you find joy in simplicity, strength in vulnerability, and peace in the ever-changing flow of existence. And above all, may you trust yourself, the light within you, the wisdom guiding you, and the infinite potential that lies ahead. Take care, and remember, you are enough exactly as you are. Namaste.